Right now, co-founder and director of Colstrip United, Lori Shaw. Good afternoon.
Hi.
Colstrip United. So what is Colstrip United?
So, Colstrip United is a grassroots movement dedicated to making the lesser-known positive information about coal and coal energy more available to the public. There's a negative stigma surrounding coal that radical environmentalists have worked very hard to magnify. We strive to fight against that stigma with positivity and solid facts.
So has the backlash against coal been in Montana like we tend to see across the nation in so many parts of the nation?
Absolutely. It's just as bad here as anywhere else.
What is the backlash? What's the knock on it?
So you get a lot of groups spreading misinformation via social media, other platforms, just only sharing the bad things about coal. They don't talk about the good things that it does in the state. And so that's where groups like Colstrip United came in. I mean, there's a lot on the line for Montana. We produce a lot of coal. We have a lot of coal. Take the area that I'm from. I'm from a little town called Colstrip, Montana. And as the name might suggest, Colstrip is a coal mining town. We mine coal and we produce electricity with it, around 2,200 megawatts, or enough power for 1.5 million homes. Our coal mine and power plant are the very things that keep our town alive, as well as creating vital economic contributions for the entire state and the Pacific Northwest. But all of that is in danger of going away. And to put it in a nutshell, our town is being held hostage by radicals. The Sierra Club and a smaller organization called the Montana Environmental Information Center, or MEIC, have sued our power plant's owners and through a settlement forced them to agree to shut down 2 of the 4 units that make up the Colstrip Steam Electric Station. These predatory groups are eager to take a large economic driver away from the people of my city without any affordable or realistic suggestions on how to replace what will be lost. So, at the time of Colstrip United's conception, my mind was consumed with fear for the future of the city that I love. But that fear turned to anger when I realized that there were entire Facebook pages that were dedicated to attacking my hometown and the industries that keep it alive. So I thought to myself, you know what? If they can make a Facebook page, so can I. So I created the page and I reached out to my friend Ashley Dennehy. I said, hey, do you want to help me with this? And she said, yes, let's do it. And our lives have never been the same since. Colstrip United, we are a nonpartisan group, though. We are for people from any background, occupation, political standing. Ours is a cause that bridges many political gaps and ideological difference because energy and jobs are things that just about everyone is fond of. And not only do we believe that we can have more of those good things for the people of our state, we know that those good things can come to us through our amazing coal industry. But I'm actually not here to make the case for coal. I'm actually here today with you to make the case for activism.
And why is activism necessary? And why you would, when you hear coal and activism, what I think is going to pop into most minds is an activism against coal. Why is activism necessary?
Pro-coal activism. It's something not a lot of people think about, but why do we need it? Well, in order to make real change, it is my belief that you need to be willing to do what others are not. You need to be willing to give past the threshold of what others are willing to give. And sometimes if you want to get ahead, you have to play the game a different way than what your enemies are used to. Colstrip United is a true grassroots movement. We are a bit of an oddity because everything that we've done so far has been completely voluntary labor. We're truly made of concerned citizens. Ashley and I don't get paid for the work we've done with it. And in this way, Colstrip United is truly a labor of love. And I do love my city. I would do anything to help it continue as the vibrant community that I grew up in. I mean, you talk to the folks in Colstrip, they'll stop me wherever I go, and they'll just ask me how I'm doing. And the conversations I have with the people in my hometown I cherish those conversations, but I do see the fear in these people's eyes when they ask me how my fight for coal is going. These people are tough, and they're hardworking, intelligent souls with families to feed and bills to pay. But given the short-sighted anti-coal direction that small radical groups are trying to drive my state toward, how am I supposed to look these good people in the eye and tell them that everything is going to be okay? Well, I tell them exactly what I believe in my heart. I tell them that there is a future for coal, and there is a future for communities that are sustained by the good-paying jobs that Montana's coal industry provides. Clean coal is going to be a part of the future, and it only makes sense that Montana, the state with the largest recoverable coal reserves, should help lead the way. But I digress. The point that I'm making is that if you love something enough, it's worth fighting for. And when the majority of your adversaries are all in it for the money, being free of that motivation is a strong advantage that the volunteer activist can take. I mean, to me, though, the fear of losing this battle is nowhere near as big as my fear of living the rest of my life with the regret of doing nothing. And activism is important because the time is now. Right now, there are communities just like Colstrip across the entire country that depend on resource industries that are under attack by groups that operate under the guise of environmentalism. Their sue and settle litigation tactics are designed to weaken their victims by keeping them on the defense and bleeding them financially in order to make their services less profitable. But it is my belief that in the end, these radical organizations like the Sierra Club and the MEIC, they can't hide or run away from the suffering they're causing in these communities. They'll eventually need to answer for the damage they're doing, but only if we stand together, only if we raise our voices and fight back. And it isn't just coal that's under attack. If you work in any extraction industry and you don't think that these groups can eventually take everything away from you, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. In the eyes of these groups, the industry that employs you is easy money. The only thing you can do about it is to start fighting back, start challenging the narrative they're putting out there. And you have to do it on the platforms they're using. You can put ads in the paper all you want, but if you're not using platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, then you're not going to reach the audience that your enemies are currently speaking to.
Lori Shaw, co-founder, director of Colstrip United, Colstrip, Montana. But lest you think, well, that's Montana, we have a considerable coal industry in North Dakota, so there are a number of parallels, and our industries also come under attack from many of the same groups that Colstrip United is fighting against. How can somebody help you in your fight?
Well, there's a lot of ways. Take to social media. Start getting vocal. Here's the thing that I want everyone listening to ask themselves right now. If not me, then who? No one is going to step in and fight your battles for you. No more waiting, no more talking about it. If you want to help make a change in your community where you are, it has to start today. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you have more time. Today. A lot of you listening might have your phones out right now. Get on your phone. Make one post or even one comment somewhere on Facebook defending something you believe in. Activism is for everyone. I was never trained as an activist. If I didn't know something, I would just surround myself with people who did. It turns out that you don't need any qualifications to start or join a grassroots movement. All you need is a cause and the will to fight, and there's so much to fight for. Pick a cause and give a little of your time to it. If you don't have time, maybe money, maybe anything, but I can guarantee it'll give a lot back to you. It's incredibly rewarding to stand up for something you believe in, and I think it's safe to say, at the end of their lives, very few people lie on their deathbeds wishing that they would have spent less time fighting for the things they believed in, right?
That's a very profound point, no doubt. Lori Shaw, co-founder, director of Colstrip United. Lori, how is somebody get in touch with Colstrip United?
You can find us on Facebook. First and foremost, we have 16,000 followers on Facebook. Look us up. We're also on Instagram and Twitter. And you can find me on Facebook as well. Feel free to reach out to us. If you're considering getting on social media to advocate for a resource industry, coal, timber, whatever, and you don't know where to start, contact me. I'll walk you through it. It's easy. We can fight back together. It's easy.
What do you tell somebody who's from Minnesota where they're not big fans of coal for their electricity, and yet they have to import a considerable amount of electricity?
I would tell those folks to please look at both sides of the issue. Don't just listen to whatever one side is telling you. Try to self-educate on the issue. Try to look at where your power is coming from, how it's being generated. Think about where things come from. Wind turbines and solar panels don't just pop out of the ground. They're made out of things that are mined, and it costs money to make them. So I would urge those folks to just do a little homework. That's it.
There you have it. Lori Shaw, co-founder, director of Colstrip United. Anything else you want to mention?
I guess the last thing for the folks back home in Colstrip, Montana is I am running for Colstrip City Council, so I'd appreciate your vote in November. Other than that, I really appreciate this opportunity to come on and talk with you today.
What is it you hope to accomplish in the City Council there?
Well, I just want to get more involved in my community. I love my community. I want to find more ways to give back. And yeah, like I said, be more involved. It's all about getting involved. Talk is cheap, but it's a whole other thing to be willing to get your hands dirty and become a part of things.
And it doesn't cost you anything to care.
Exactly.
Came up with that one on my own. Lori Shaw,
pretty good.
co-founder, director of Colstrip United. Well, it's true. It's true. Lori, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All righty, you take care.
Thanks. You too.
Lori Shaw, co-founder, director, Colstrip United, Colstrip United, Colstrip, Montana.